Do you find yourself on your sales calls getting lost in the sauce? You are building rapport, and the next thing you know, your prospect is talking about something that feels totally unrelated, and you're trying to bring the conversation back into the offer. And then as you start talking about the offer, you feel like you're losing them. It's like the lights are on, but nobody's home. You can feel like their eyes are glazing over, and you're just losing them. And the more that this happens, the more that you experience it, the more nervous you feel about moving into talking about your offer. And then you start being very undirect and starting to get a little nervous, and then your sales calls go on forever and you just never land the plane. I just want you to know I've been there. I know exactly what it feels like, and I'm going to tell you today exactly how to sell your offer without potentially ever even mentioning the offer itself. This framework and this strategy is so powerful because, first of all, of course, you can use it in content to really draw attention to your offer without it being about the actual features of your offer, but also especially in sales calls. So one time I was on a call talking, really wanting to help my prospect see that sales training was the answer to her problem that she was trying to solve. And this was probably 5 years ago. And I remember being on this call for like 45 minutes. And the entire time, this woman kept telling me about her adopted dogs and how passionate she was about these adopted dogs and how she wanted to adopt more. She really wanted this underground fence. And the whole time I'm sitting here on this call listening to her and thinking, why did she book this call? If she wants to talk about her dogs, she needs to go like adopt to an adoption dog group, not to me. And I remember trying to bring it back to talk about sales training and bring it back to talk about why she booked the call in the first place, and I was having the hardest time getting her there. And we hung up the phone, and I remember kind of sleeping on it for a couple of days, being like, what on earth was that about? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, that is the payoff that she wants from sales training. Like, she wanted to be able to learn how to sell, to make more money, to be able to have the payoff of this offer for her, which would be to have this underground dog fence. And you hear a lot about, talk about the value of your offer, talk about the payoff of your offer. And in that moment, I realized, oh, like the prospect actually tells me what their payoff is. I don't have to guess at what I think the payoff would be for her. So I want to give you an example today of a real estate agent example, because I actually feel like I experienced this whenever I go to open houses. It sounds like I go to open houses a lot, which I guess maybe I do. I go on a lot of walks in my neighborhood, and there's always signs of open houses, and I love just to kind of walk in there. And almost every time I walk into an open house, like if this is the house, if this is the offer, okay, you can think about this house as your offer. And there's however many bedrooms, maybe there's a pool right here, and there's all of this yard, and there's a fence, and it's an amazing, amazing, beautiful home. And then there's a real estate agent right here, and she's waiting for people to come into the home to experience the offer. And let's say there's these people, let's do 3 different people that walk in right here. And what most real estate agents do is they see a person walk in to look at the home, and they say, welcome to the home. I'm so excited for you to see it. Let me tell you about the home. There's 5 bedrooms, there's 3 bathrooms, there's a pool, there's 3 acres of yard. It's in the most perfect school district. You're going to love it. Take a look and let me know if you have any questions. Now, it's not a terrible way to show a home or to show an offer, but I want to tell you what would be so much better. Let's say this girl's name is Susie. And Susie walks in, and instead of the real estate agent saying, hey, here's this home, the real estate agent could be a sales girl and say, hey, Susie, welcome to this open house. Tell me what has brought you here. What has you interested in seeing this home? And Susie says, well, I have a son, I have a 2-year-old boy, and right now we live on a bunch of land, and I just love the idea of him having friends to grow up with as neighbors. And I heard this neighborhood has a lot of young kids. Okay, that's really helpful to know. So she wants community. Okay, and then let's say Lori walks in and the sales girl real estate agent says, Lori, hey, welcome to this open house. I'm so curious to know what has you here today? And Lori says, well, I know that this is a gated community. And it really excites me to think about there being someone kind of on guard because my husband travels a lot. And I find when he's gone, I have such a hard time sleeping. And, I'm not really fully rested. And I can feel myself being really irritable with my family. And I would just know I would feel so much better if I knew that this community, that I slept in a home that was, with a gated community. Okay, great. Lori wants safety. Perfect. And then let's say Sam. So this is Lori. And Sam comes into the real estate agent. And the real estate agent, sales girl, says, Sam, welcome to this home. I'm so excited you're here. Tell me what has you here. And Sam says, well, I love that this house has 5 bedrooms. My husband and I were really thinking about starting a family. And I love the idea of us all having the same home that all 5 kids or all of our kids can grow up in together. And I don't want to move a lot. So I just love deciding on a family home right now. Okay, so Sam wants maybe some stability. And so as each person comes into this home, I want you to imagine this real estate agent walking through the offer. I'm saying house, but just think about the house as the offer. Walking through the offer and framing the offer around the payoff that they are looking for. And so if Susie wants community, as she's walking through the house, she might frame the pool as something that her son can invite his new friends over to. She can frame the 5th bedroom as the bonus room where all of his friends can come over and spend the night. As she is showing Lori the house, she can frame how, the neighborhood playground actually has a gated, fence around the playground, and she can know that her kids are going to be safe. And she can talk about how safe the community is as she's walking through their home. And with Sam, with disability, she can paint the vision and build that feeling of anticipation for Sam about the home that she's walking into. And when you have this mindset of what is their payoff, the whole time, you are actually talking about the vision of the life that they think that this house is going to give them. And I'm saying they think, Lori thinks that a gated community is going to give her safety. Is it? Maybe not. But the fact that she thinks that is something you can really lean into and highlight continuously throughout the offer. Throughout talking about the offer. And what's most important here is they are going to lean in more than ever. If you find that your prospects start losing steam, they're all engaged, they're excited to talk to you, but then the second you go into the offer and you lose them, it's because you are not framing it around what is in it for them. And this is why your question asking, like when people come into your world and they have questions for you, you think you're in control when you're talking. I know it feels that way, but the person that's in control is the one that's listening. When you hear everything you need to hear, that is your ammunition. That is your steering wheel that you can grip onto so that you can control the conversation and guide it in their brains and keep the right things highlighted. So as they're thinking about potentially purchasing the offer, they are thinking about what it could give them. And the reason this is so important, not only when you're selling the offer, but once someone has purchased. Because I will tell you what, like focus, I'm just going to draw another person right here. It is like gravity. Like if you were to be selling this house, it is so much easier. Like the brain naturally wants to think about why you shouldn't change your life, like why you shouldn't move. It's too much work. It's too much effort. You've got to hire a moving company. You've got to sell your other house. You've got to find a new place to get your hair done. You've got to find a new school. Your kids got to find a new friends. Their focus is like gravity. It's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. The brain loves predictability. It loves to stay safe. And so as they are thinking about buying the house, you've got to, unless they do buy the house, you've got to remind them like, hey, this is going to be so great for your son. Hey, you are going to be such an amazing mom when when you're so well rested, no matter if your husband is home or not. Hey, you are going to have a Thanksgiving table full of friends and family for decades to come. Keep them focused on why they are doing this in the first place so that they can stay consistent, stay focused, and stay excited about their decision. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, subscribe. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.